Picture yourself in New York City in the 1940s, 1942 to be more exact. It's late at night and the streets are empty. The Pearl Harbor attack was just a couple of months ago. You can smell the fear in the streets as war is devastating the Western world. As you're walking, you're struck by a diner. It emerges from the darkness as the light is bursting out of its windows. As you look through the large window, you see 4 people. Nighthawks by Edward Hopper not only makes you relive the moment, it makes you feel the tense atmosphere of the scene. Alienation is one of the main themes in this painting. First of all, the viewer is isolated from the customers inside the diner. While they're in the warm light, the viewer is outside in the cold, dark, and empty streets. Not only are the streets deserted, but the store in front of the diner is completely empty. You see a cash register, but the shelves in front of it are deprived of any products. Even if the viewer wanted to escape these barren streets to enter the diner, they couldn't. The diner has no apparent entrance. It looks as if it's completely sealed off. And even though this should make the customers feel trapped inside, it paradoxically makes the viewer feel trapped outside. The viewer is lonely and they can't break this feeling. They are powerless. But the alienation doesn't stop there. Even if the customers are all together inside the diner, they're still separated. The first customer at the end of the counter is isolated by the distance between himself and the rest of the people. The clerk is also isolated. He's caged by the counter surrounding him, creating a distance between him and his customers. Finally, there's the couple. We aren't even sure if they're a couple or not, as they aren't touching or looking at each other. Even though they share the closest proximity, the emotional distance between the two exacerbates their alienation. The man on the left, smoking, is probably the reason why the painting is called Nighthawks, because of his beak-shaped nose. He's interacting with the clerk, and yet the feeling of isolation is still present. We can compare this to the concept of urban loneliness, the feeling of being alone in a crowded city. No matter how many people surround you, if you can't share a deeper connection with them, you'll feel lonely. This was a recurring theme for Hopper to exploit. We can look at Summer Interior in 1909, where a woman is lying alone on the floor next to her bed. Just like in Nighthawks, it has some mystery about it. While we look at Nighthawks, we can ask ourselves, why is there a man alone so late? What are they talking about? In Summer Interior, we can ask ourselves, why is that woman on the floor? Why isn't she wearing any pants? Hopper forces us to create stories as to why the characters depicted in his paintings are alone. Automat, created in 1927, makes us wonder why this woman is alone at night, why she's still wearing her coat, and who she's waiting for. We can build intricate stories and appropriate the painting by creating its narrative. Hopper gives you the opportunity to make these paintings your own. This woman can be whoever you want her to be. Apartment Houses, painted in 1923, also shares with Nighthawks the themes of voyeurism. Looking through a window to watch a scene makes the viewers feel like what they're watching is intimate and genuine. There is no staging, just people going about their business. Night Windows in 1928 also puts us in this uncomfortable yet captivating point of view. Many of Hopper's paintings express a feeling of loneliness, often in urban areas and in front of windows, as if by looking out of them, by seeing these thousands of roaming individuals, we feel even more lonely because of our inability to connect to any of them. Feeling lonely when you're alone is normal, but feeling lonely when you're surrounded by people is extremely discomforting. In an era where social media exposes us to more and more people without the ability to truly connect to them, this feeling of discomfort can amplify. Hopper beautifully translates this discomfort into paintings and makes us realize that we aren't alone in our loneliness.